I'm seeing here at Rick Jones Pianos with a Boston grand piano, 5 foot 10 inches long. It's model GP-178, GP standing for grand piano, we're pretty sure, and 178 standing for the length of the piano in centimeters, so it's about 5 foot 10 inches long. And if you don't already know, Boston is a piano designed by Steinway in New York and manufactured for them by Kawai as a less expensive alternative to Steinway's top-of-the-line products, which are called Steinway on the front. This, incidentally, is the same size as the old Model L and now the Model O, which they make in New York and Hamburg, Germany today, 5 foot 10 inches long. And, well, I think you can tell just by listening to it that it's a piano that was designed by Steinway. It has a really big tonal projection. And every Steinway piano, just by the way it's designed, the shape of the rim, cast iron plate, soundboard bridges, and how that all determines the position of the strings, that is what I like to say in these videos, that determines the essential tone quality of the piano. It's like the piano's DNA. And that's why Yamahas sound like Yamaha, Steinway like Steinway, Kawai like Kawai. This was made with Steinway's design using Kawai's, in my opinion, excellent quality control. And this was made in Japan. And actually, we tried to look up the serial number. The serial number is so high, and it was higher than the latest number we have listed, which is for 2016 or 17 or whatever. This piano is so new, it's not in our records for that we can consult, our references that we can consult to determine the exact age of the piano. So we're calling it around 2020, it might be 2019. But it's really not an old piano at all. I think it's the newest Boston I've ever seen, and it certainly looks it. The previous owner took very good care of it, didn't abuse it. The finish needed very little work when it came in, although we did polish it to make it as shiny as possible, and it really does look, in my opinion, like a new piano. The fall board has been made from the factory with a built-in slow close mechanism, which you won't find on most Steinway grands. Maybe the new ones have it. That's a new thing for them. But this is very popular with parents of children who may be rambunctious, and on a key cover fall board that's not slow motion like that, it can hurt your fingers or wrists. I actually just recently hurt my wrist a little bit on an old Yamaha fall board, and ow. So rest assured, this has it built in from the factory, so you can't tell it's there. It's not a retrofit. It's built in, and it even comes with its original Boston bench with a logo on the side. That's the B for Boston. It's an adjustable bench, no storage for music. The mechanisms underneath instead allow the seat to be adjusted up and down. It's a nice, comfortable bench. And again, the bench is in really good condition too, so just more evidence that the piano has had an easy life. And so long as you make sure you have it in tune twice a year and kept in moderate stable humidity, you can expect many decades of life left in this piano of musical enjoyment. I would describe the tone of this piano as actually kind of neutral. The Steinway, in my opinion, always imparts a warm sound to their pianos. But generally, the bigger the piano is, the more likely it's going to have a big, brilliant sound. And you might not expect that from a piano that's under 6 feet long. It is perhaps of note that on the inside here, embossed in the plate, so it's not just a thing they stuck on with glue, it's actually made and cast as part of the plate. There's a little designation that says Performance Edition. And that, in my opinion, is probably an alteration they made to the preparation of the piano, maybe the hammers, I'm not quite sure, but something they did to give this piano more tonal projection than you might otherwise expect, even from a normal 5'10" Boston. We've had plenty of this model in before, but relatively few of this special edition, performance edition model. And in my opinion, it definitely has a bolder, more brilliant sound than other Bostons I've played. Bostons tend to be pretty mellow, but this one, not so much. I'll call it neutral, a 5 on a scale from 1 to 10. You can still get a warm sound out of it if you play softly, but it really, when you play loudly, it really opens up and it fills this big warehouse with sound. So, not a piano for the meek. 5 is what I'll call the tone. The touch I would call a 6 on the scale from 1 to 10, from light to firm. And in my opinion, usually pianos made by either Steinway or Kawai, grand pianos, tend to have a firm touch. That is what students have come to expect these days, and teachers. If a school is going to have a Steinway piano on the stage and a bunch of Bostons and smaller Steinways in the classrooms, and there are many schools like that, they have an agreement with Steinway, you will want to be well prepared for those pianos as a student practicing at home on a similar piano. So that, because there's nothing more frightening than being a student, going to a piano lesson, having practiced on a light touch piano at home, and being thrown off by the firmness of the touch of the teacher's piano. This piano that will not be a problem. You will build your strength in your fingers practicing on this piano. So, please stop by. You can try this out for yourself along with anything else in our inventory. But if you can't make it, you can always give us a phone call or send us an email if you have any questions. Thanks.